Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If you're an SAP professional today, are you still building a career for the next 5 years or just surviving until your system is replaced? Because in 2027, SAP ECC support ends. And when that happens, companies won't ask politely. They won't ask who is ready. They will ask who can migrate fast, safely, and under pressure. And that moment will quietly separate SAP careers into two groups: those who become more valuable and those who suddenly feel late. This video is not about fear. It's about understanding why the 2027 deadline is the biggest SAP career opportunity of this decade. If you position yourself correctly, for years, SAP professionals have heard the same sentence. We'll move to S/4 HANA later. Later became next year. Next year became after this project, and now suddenly 2027 is no longer far away. The real question is not whether companies will migrate. The real question is who will be ready when they have no choice. Because 2027 is not just an SAP deadline, it's a career-defining moment. Why 2027 changes the game completely. SAP deadlines are not new, but the 2027 ECC maintenance end is fundamentally different from previous milestones. This is not a feature upgrade. This is not a nice-to-have innovation. This is a hard stop for thousands of companies still running SAP ECC. When mainstream maintenance ends, companies face three uncomfortable options: accept higher risks, pay significantly more for extended support, or finally migrate to S/4 HANA. None of these are neutral decisions. Each one affects cost structures, compliance, security, and long-term system strategy. That's why 2027 is not an IT topic anymore. It's a board-level concern. The dangerous illusion of we still have time. On paper, 2027 looks manageable, but large SAP programs don't run on calendar years. They run on real complexity. A typical S/4 HANA migration involves system analysis, custom code adaptation, data cleansing, process redesign, testing cycles, cutover planning, change management. Even well-prepared companies need 18 to 36 months to complete this properly. That means decisions made in 2025 are already late for some organizations. Waiting until 2026 dramatically increases risk. Many companies underestimate this. And that underestimation is exactly where opportunity begins. Why S/4 HANA migration is not a technical project. One of the biggest mistakes companies make is framing migration as a technical conversion handled by IT. In reality, S/4 HANA migration forces companies to confront things they avoided for years: outdated processes, inconsistent master data, undocumented custom developments, business rules that no longer make sense. S/4 HANA does not tolerate complexity the same way ECC did. It exposes inefficiencies. That's uncomfortable, but necessary. And it requires people who understand more than just transactions. The silent pressure across industries. Not all industries feel the same level of urgency, but none are immune. Industries with high transaction volumes, strict compliance requirements, complex logistics, real-time reporting needs feel pressure earlier. Manufacturing, automotive, retail, energy, pharmaceuticals. These sectors cannot afford system instability or delayed decisions. As a result, migration programs start earlier. Budgets are larger. Expectations are higher. This is where SAP professionals gain visibility. Fast. Why? This deadline creates a career. Wave deadlines don't just create stress, they create movement. Movement creates demand, project pipelines, hiring pressure, premium opportunities. The 2027 deadline triggers a multi-year wave of greenfield projects, brownfield conversions, selective carve-outs, landscape consolidations. This is not one project. It's thousands of parallel transformations, and waves like this don't happen often. The timing advantage. Most people miss many. SAP professionals focus on which module to learn, which certification to get, which tool is trending. Very few think about when demand peaks. Timing matters. Professionals who enter the S/4 HANA migration space early gain experience while demand exceeds supply. See multiple projects in a short time. Build credibility quickly. Those who wait until everyone is migrating face stronger competition, lower differentiation, slower growth. This is not about being smarter, it's about being earlier. Why panic is the wrong reaction. Some people react to 2027 with panic. Rushing into certifications, switching roles without direction, chasing hype, that usually leads to poor decisions. This moment is not about speed, it's about positioning. Understanding the wave calmly gives you leverage. Misreading it creates stress. What this video series is really about this video is not telling you to quit your job to jump blindly into migration projects to abandon your current expertise. It's about helping you see why 2027 matters, where demand is forming, how careers accelerate during transformation cycles. Because SAP careers are long, but windows like this are rare. Setting the stage for what comes next. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the mechanics of this wave. We'll talk about why S/4 HANA migration is not one big project, but a long, uneven demand curve, and why that curve creates opportunities for years, not months. 2027 is not a threat for SAP professionals. It's a stress test for companies, for systems, and for careers. Those who understand the test early don't rush. They prepare. Why S/4 HANA migration is not one project, but a multi-year demand wave. One of the biggest misunderstandings about S/4 HANA migration is the idea that it is a single moment in time. People imagine it like this. Companies migrate, systems stabilize, demand drops. That assumption is wrong. S/4 HANA migration is not a switch. It is a long, uneven, multi-year wave, and that distinction changes everything for careers. Why migration will not happen all at once? SAP customers are not starting from the same place. Some organizations upgraded ECC recently, cleaned custom code, documented processes. Others run 15 to 20-year-old ECC systems, depend on heavy Z developments, lack clear process ownership. Both groups face the same deadline, but their journeys are completely different. That alone spreads demand across years. The 3 migration paths and why they multiply projects. S/4 HANA migration does not follow one path. Most companies choose between system conversion, brownfield, new implementation, greenfield, selective transformation. Each path requires different skills, takes different timelines, creates different risks. This diversity prevents demand from collapsing into one peak. Instead, it creates overlapping project streams. Why early movers don't reduce demand? They increase it. Here's a counterintuitive truth. When early movers migrate successfully, they don't reduce demand. They reveal hidden complexity, expose underestimated risks, raise awareness across industries. Executives talk to each other. Lessons travel faster than systems. This creates a domino effect. If they struggled, we should start now. If they paid that much, we should budget earlier. Success stories don't slow migration, they accelerate it. Industry timing is not aligned, and that's critical. Migration pressure hits industries at different speeds. Manufacturing and automotive move earlier. Retail follows close behind. Utilities, public sector, and regulated industries move slower. This staggering matters. It prevents a single talent flood. Instead, it sustains demand year after year. For SAP professionals, this means multiple entry points, long learning windows, repeated opportunities to reposition. Why migration programs attract bigger budgets? Migration is not cheap, and companies know it. Unlike incremental improvements, migration touches core processes, affects financial reporting, introduces operational risk. That triggers steering committees, executive sponsorship, external consulting spend. Budget size matters for careers. Large budgets mean visibility, responsibility, influence. This is where SAP professionals move from delivery roles to advisory roles. The talent gap is structural, not temporary. Many believe the talent shortage will normalize. It won't, at least not quickly. Why? S/4. HANA experience cannot be learned in isolation. Migration. Mistakes are expensive. Companies prefer proven profiles. That creates a feedback loop. Experienced consultants get pulled into more projects. Newcomers struggle to enter late. This is why early exposure compounds so fast. Why support work shrinks. While migration grows, another important dynamic is happening. As companies prepare for migration, ECC support investment slows. Innovation budgets shift. Transformation takes priority. That doesn't kill support roles, but it limits their growth. Migration roles, on the other hand, expand in scope, gain strategic importance, accelerate careers. This imbalance is subtle but powerful. Why migration experience ages well. Some SAP experiences lose relevance over time. Migration experience does not. Why? Legacy cleanup knowledge stays useful. Process simplification skills. Transfer data transformation lessons repeat. Someone who worked on one migration is more valuable on the second, and extremely valuable on the third. The hidden multiplier. Post-migration work. Another myth. Once migration is done, work ends. Reality. Optimization follows, performance tuning continues. Business transformation restarts. S/4. HANA migration is often just phase 1. That means long client relationships, follow-up programs, sustained consulting demand. Migration opens doors, but it doesn't close them. What this means for career planning: careers are not built on static roles. They are built on cycles of demand. The S/4 HANA migration wave is such a cycle. Professionals who understand this stop chasing trends, stop over-optimizing credentials, start positioning around exposure. They think in project ecosystems, not job titles. Why waiting feels safe, but isn't waiting feels comfortable. But comfort during transformation cycles often means missed leverage. By the time migration feels normal, roles are defined, rates stabilize, competition increases. Early discomfort buys long-term clarity. Which SAP roles benefit most from the 2027 migration pressure? When people hear S/4 HANA migration, the first question they usually ask is, which module should I learn? That question sounds logical, but it's incomplete. Migration pressure does not reward modules equally. It rewards positions inside the transformation. Understanding this difference is critical. Why migration changes the value of roles. In steady-state SAP environments, value often comes from knowing the system well, executing tasks efficiently, maintaining stability. Migration flips that logic. During migration, stability is already broken, uncertainty is high, decisions are expensive. This shifts value toward roles that influence decisions, manage risk, connect technical change to business impact. Execution still matters, but ownership matters more. Functional consultants, from configurators to decision guides. Functional consultants are heavily involved in migration projects, but not in the same way as before. The classic functional role focused on mapping existing processes, recreating them in the new system, minimizing change. That approach is increasingly challenged. S/4 HANA forces questions like, should we keep this process at all? Does this customization still make sense? What can we simplify? Functional consultants who understand business trade-offs, challenge, we've always done it this way. Explain the impact of simplification becomes central to migration success. Those who only configure what they are told feel more pressure, get pushed into narrower roles. Migration rewards thinking consultants, not mechanical ones. Technical consultants, cleanup, redesign, and risk reduction. Technical roles are critical in migration, but again, not all technical work is equal. High-value technical activities include custom code remediation, performance optimization, interface redesign, dependency analysis. Low-value activities increasingly include repetitive adaptations, copy-paste enhancements, isolated coding without context. Why? Because migration failures are rarely caused by syntax errors. They are caused by architectural blind spots. Technical consultants who understand system boundaries, performance implications, integration dependencies move closer to decision-making. Those who stay in execution-only roles face faster commoditization. Data roles, quietly becoming critical. Data is where many migrations struggle the most. ECC systems often contain inconsistent master data, historical inaccuracies, undocumented dependencies. S/4 HANA is less forgiving. Data migration is not just about moving records, mapping fields. It's about deciding what stays, deciding what is cleaned, deciding what is archived. Consultants who understand data logic, finance data consistency, material master dependencies, reporting impact become essential. These roles rarely get hype, but they carry high responsibility and visibility. Integration specialists, demand grows, not shrinks. S/4 HANA migration rarely happens in isolation. Landscapes today include third-party systems, cloud platforms, industry solutions, analytics tools. Migration breaks integrations and redesigns them. Integration specialists who understand end-to-end data flow, API strategy, error handling, system ownership are pulled into almost every migration stream. This role grows with complexity, and complexity is increasing. Project managers. Pressure multiplies, so does influence migration projects attract attention. They involve executive sponsors, steering committees, external vendors. That puts project managers under pressure, but also under visibility. In migration programs, project managers don't just track timelines, manage tasks. They handle escalation balance business versus IT priorities, protect teams from unrealistic expectations. Strong project managers gain, trust influence career momentum. Weak ones get exposed quickly. Solution: architects sitting at the center of the storm. If there is one role that consistently benefits from migration pressure, it is solution architecture. Solution architects connect modules, design target landscapes, evaluate trade-offs. Think long-term migration magnifies their importance because wrong architecture decisions are expensive, rework is painful, downstream impact is massive. This role is not about speed, it's about clarity and foresight. Roles that benefit less than expected. Some roles experience temporary demand but limited long-term leverage. Examples: pure testing execution, documentation-only roles, isolated support functions. These roles are necessary, but they rarely define migration outcomes. Career growth here depends on how quickly people expand scope, move closer to decisions. Why visibility matters. More than Title II, consultants can both be called SAPS/4 HANA Consultant. One gains momentum, the other stays flat. The difference is not certification, it's visibility into decision-making. Migration rewards people who attend workshops, participate in design discussions, understand why choices are made. Not just those who implement them. A practical self-check. Ask yourself honestly, am I mostly executing tasks or shaping decisions? Do I understand why we are migrating each area? Am I close to business conversations or shielded from them? Your answers reveal your trajectory. Why mispositioning is so common. Many professionals misposition themselves because they underestimate migration complexity. They overvalue technical depth alone. They avoid uncomfortable exposure. Migration is messy. It involves conflict. It forces clarity. Avoiding that mess feels safe, but safety slows growth here. Setting up the next part. Now that we understand where opportunity concentrates, the next question is uncomfortable but necessary. Why will many SAP professionals still miss this opportunity, even though it's obvious? That's what we'll cover in Part 4. S/4. HANA migration does not reward everyone equally. It rewards proximity to decisions, tolerance for complexity, willingness to grow beyond comfort. The opportunity is real, but positioning determines who benefits. Why many SAP professionals will miss the 2027 opportunities don't disappear because they aren't visible. They disappear because people approach them with the wrong mindset. The 2027 S/4 HANA deadline is one of the clearest opportunity signals the SAP ecosystem has seen in years. And yet, a large number of SAP professionals will still miss it. Not because they are incapable, not because they are lazy, but because they fall into very common traps. Trap number 1, waiting for the right moment. One of the most damaging beliefs in SAP careers is this: I'll get involved once things are more stable. Migration phases are never stable. Early phases feel chaotic. Middle phases feel overwhelming. Late phases feel rushed. There is no perfect entry point. Professionals who wait for clarity usually enter after key decisions are already made, when roles are narrowly defined, when learning speed slows down. By the time migration feels safe, the leverage is gone. Trap number 2, over-focusing on certifications. Certifications are useful, but they are not positioning. Many professionals react to 2027 by stacking certificates, learning theory in isolation, delaying real exposure. This creates a false sense of preparation. Migration projects don't reward textbook knowledge, perfect answers. They reward judgment under pressure, understanding of trade-offs, ability to navigate uncertainty. Certification without exposure rarely converts into influence. Trap number 3, staying too long in comfort zones legacy. ECC support feels familiar. You know, the issues, the fixes, the people. But familiarity can quietly trap you. As companies prepare for migration, innovation slows in ECC, strategic attention moves away, budgets shift elsewhere. Support roles remain necessary, but their growth ceiling lowers. Professionals who stay too long maintain stability but lose momentum. Migration roles feel uncomfortable, but discomfort accelerates learning. Trap number 4, narrow specialization. Too early. Some consultants lock into a single module, a single task type, a single project role. Early specialization feels safe. It gives identity, but migration rewards breadth before depth. Why? Because migration requires cross-functional understanding, system-wide thinking, coordination across domains. Overly narrow profiles struggle to adapt. Those who expand scope early gain visibility, learn faster, reposition more easily. Trap number 5, avoiding business conversations. This is subtle, but critical. Many SAP professionals stay close to configuration, code, system tasks, and avoid business discussions, stakeholder debates, decision workshops. Migration makes this avoidance costly because migration is full of questions like, do we really need this process? Can we simplify? What risk are we accepting? Avoiding these conversations limits growth. Trap number 6, underestimating political complexity. Migration is not just technical, it exposes ownership conflicts, legacy power structures, process inefficiencies. Some professionals avoid migration because politics feel uncomfortable, conflict feels risky. But visibility into politics is where influence grows, trust builds, seniority develops, migration accelerates exposure, and for better or worse. Why these traps are so attractive? These traps exist because they feel reasonable. Waiting feels patient. Certifications feel productive. Comfort feels safe. Specialization feels focused. But during transformation cycles, reasonable choices can produce poor outcomes. Migration waves reward courage over comfort, exposure over perfection, adaptability over certainty. The hidden cost of missing the wave. Missing the migration wave doesn't end a career, it slows it. Professionals who miss early migration cycles often enter later as junior contributors, compete with more experienced peers, accept narrower roles. They still survive, but with less leverage. Those who enter early build compound experience, gain credibility faster, shape outcomes instead of following them. Why awareness alone is not enough. Many professionals know 2027 is important, but awareness without action changes nothing. Action doesn't mean quitting your job, forcing a role change. It means saying yes to uncomfortable exposure, asking to join migration-related tasks, positioning yourself closer to decisions. Small moves compound quickly in migration environments. A simple reality check. Ask yourself honestly, am I moving toward migration exposure or away from it? Do my current tasks build relevance for S/4 HANA transformation? If I stay where I am, will my role grow or plateau? The answers are often uncomfortable, but clarity begins there. Why many professionals will realize this too late. Migration urgency increases over time. As 2027 approaches, competition intensifies. Hiring becomes reactive. Mistakes become expensive. Late realization leads to rushed decisions. Early understanding allows calm positioning. Setting up the final part. Now that we've covered why the opportunity exists, where value concentrates, why many miss it, the final question is practical. How do you position yourself calmly and strategically before 2027 without panic or risky moves? That's what we'll cover in Part 5. Closing. Thought of Part 4. The 2027 opportunity will not be missed because it's hidden. It will be missed because comfort feels safer than change. Waiting feels easier than exposure. But careers grow during transformation, not during stability. How to position yourself calmly and strategically before 2027. By now, one thing should be clear. The 2027 S/4 HANA deadline is not a rumor. It's not a theory. It's already shaping decisions, budgets, and careers. The only remaining question is not if you should respond, but how. And the answer is not panic. It's positioning. Why calm? Positioning beats fast moves. When deadlines approach, many professionals feel pressure to act fast. They rush into certifications, jump between roles, chase whatever sounds hot. Fast moves feel decisive, but they often lack direction. Migration cycles reward people who move intentionally, understand where value is forming, place themselves inside the flow, not ahead of it. Calm positioning creates leverage. Panic creates noise. Step 1. Move closer to migration exposure without quitting your job. You don't need a dramatic career reset. In fact, most strong migration careers begin quietly. Look for exposure like participating in system assessments, supporting data preparation, joining testing or cutover planning, observing design workshops. Even limited exposure matters. Migration knowledge compounds quickly, much faster than steady-state experience. Step 2. Focus on understanding decisions, not just tasks. Migration projects are full of tasks, but tasks don't define careers. Decisions do. Start paying attention to why certain processes are kept or removed, why some custom code is retired, why certain data is prioritized, why timelines shift. When you understand the reasoning, you move from executor to contributor. That shift changes how others see you. Step 3. Accept temporary discomfort as a signal of growth. Migration work is uncomfortable by nature. It involves unclear requirements, business resistance, political tension, pressure from timelines. Many professionals interpret this discomfort as a warning. In reality, it's often a sign you're in the right place. Growth during transformation is rarely smooth, but it's usually decisive. Step 4. Think in waves, not job titles. A common mistake is asking, is this job perfect for me? A better question during migration cycles is, does this role place me inside the transformation wave? Careers are built through exposure to complexity, visibility, responsibility. Titles change later. Experience compounds first. Step 5. Build range before locking into specialization. Migration rewards professionals who understand multiple areas, connect technical and business topics, see end-to-end impact. Early overspecialization can limit movement. Before locking into a niche, broaden exposure. Understand dependencies. Learn how different roles interact. Depth matters, but range comes first during transformation cycles. Step 6. Position yourself as a problem framer, not just a solver. AI tools and templates increasingly solve problems faster. What they don't do well is define the right problem, challenge assumptions, weigh long-term consequences. Professionals who can say, this is the real issue we need to address, become invaluable. Migration amplifies the need for clarity. Why S/4? HANA migration creates long-term career value. Some opportunities fade after the deadline passes. S/4. HANA migration does not. Why? Post-migration optimization follows. Transformation continues. Lessons repeat across companies. Migration experience ages well. It builds credibility, confidence, adaptability. Those qualities transfer across roles and industries. What happens after 2027? 2027 is not the end of demand, it's a pivot point. After migration, optimization projects grow, innovation restarts, analytics and AI adoption accelerate professionals who understand both. Legacy complexity and S/4. HANA design become bridges between past and future. Bridges are always valuable. The most important perspective to keep. Here's the mindset that protects careers best. You don't need to predict the future perfectly. You need to stay close to where value is forming. Right now, value is forming around S/4, HANA migration, transformation programs, system redesign, decision ownership. Those areas will shape SAP careers for years. Final reality check. Ask yourself honestly, does my current role prepare me for transformation or stability? Am I learning things that matter after ECC is gone? Am I closer to decisions today than I was last year? These questions matter more than any certification list. Final thought of the entire video 2027 is not a threat to SAP professionals. It's a career window, a rare moment when demand is clear, urgency is real, experience compounds fast. Those who enter this window early gain momentum, gain options, gain confidence. Those who ignore it still survive, but grow slower. SAP careers are long, but transformation waves like this are rare. If you understand the wave, you don't fight it, you ride it.